Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Plot Roast, the show where we pick movies and tear them apart for the beauty of what they are. Each movie is picked by our amazing Patreon members, and if they don't pick one week, we might fill that void, Casey and I. But
we'll find a way.
I have a few in the chamber that I think will be a lot of fun. That I'm really cultivating too.
Working on them.
But our first one is a good one.
It's a classic.
And that is 1987's Mannequin.
Mannequin.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited, man. Are you ready for this?
Well, of course. You've got to be.
So
I'm here for it, man. It's Mannequin. It's Andrew McCarthy at some of his finest. Kim Cattrall just blowing up on the scene, man.
You know, I thought this was probably one of the most whitewashed films I've ever seen up until today when I happened to watch Three Ninjas. But we'll get to that.
Whoa. First of all, she's Hebrew, potentially. And Hebrews were in Egypt.
You're stretching pretty hard.
Stretch. They were slaves, but some of them were elevated to different status.
Yeah, I think you're all right. First off,
look, it's possible. I'm saying there's a plausibility. There is a 0.001% chance that there could have been a Kim Cattrall-like looking person in Egypt at some point.
I beg to differ.
There's got to be a better way.
Please,
look
guys,
at this. Please, help me find it.
This is whitewashing.
I mean, and first of all, the opening sequence here, you know, we're starting as this woman who is dressed up as a mummy to run away and hide from getting married.
I mean, it's dealing with contemporary issues even to this day.
True.
But
the Pharaoh's hemorrhoids are contemporary issues.
This Sex and the City Kim Cattrall herself it's just truly amazing to see her kind of pop in and play an Egyptian who prays to the gods and then disappears and then shows up 4,000 years later as a mannequin in a department store made by Andrew McCarthy.
Andrew McCarthy, the worst employee known to man.
Oh my God.
The most apathetic human who just doesn't seem to get it. Or maybe there's something about artists. Maybe I'm not getting it. Maybe the whole point of this movie is to teach me why I don't understand artists.
This guy has had so many jobs.
So many jobs. But not for long.
No, it's for like a day. And I don't even, and like, here's the thing, like I've had a lot of jobs. I've never been fired like this guy has this much. But can I just say, like, it's pretty odd that he has this many jobs that it constitutes a montage, one of many in this film.
It is a montage-heavy film, as it should be.
Yeah, and he just, like, I get if you're just not right for the position. Whatever. You're not right for it. Fine, we're figuring it out. He's got to figure out his life. He seems like a young guy. I can get past that. But it's the array of jobs that he has.
Yeah, like the failed pizza guy. Chef.
Failed pizza guy.
Who he gets assaulted by his boss, by the way. That was problematic. This film is very problematic. Apparently in the 80s, and especially in New York, everyone was going to get beat up.
So problematic. The fact that, he gets, not only does he get assaulted by his boss, but he gets like berated by them too. Like one boss calls him dumb.
Yeah.
And fires, and like he's so obsessed, all he wants to do is work on the mannequin.
Yeah, that's really weird. He gets really into this one mannequin. Like he's hardcore into this, as if this is like the creation of art.
Of the week or what?
Yeah, 100%. Like, look at it.
Turned out pretty real, didn't she? I wasn't talking.
Like they hate him here. This guy is looking at him with disdain.
Well, what do you think? It only took me 6 days to do it. I figure I could turn out maybe 3 or 4 of these a month.
And
3 or 4 a month.
3 or 4 of these a day, switcher. Let's get back to work.
I mean, he's got to be inept to some point.
These things take time. That's it.
But this is, this isn't the first job he's been fired from.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, but
and that's not even the same mannequin for the rest of the movie. I'm pretty sure. I keep looking at that, and I'm like, I think they changed mannequins.
Oh my God, they 100% changed mannequins. Her hair changes, everything. It kind of looks like Kim Cattrall.
Vaguely. Which makes me wonder if someone else had the role first. Was it like a Kelly LeBrock?
That would have been good. Although I love Kim Cattrall.
No,
Kim
no, she was
Cattrall
great.
Kim Cattrall is a very underrated actor.
Actress.
No, actor.
Back in those days, we called them actress. And if we're going to be talking about
If we're going to be
mannequins,
problematic,
as it is, we're all going to join with the problematic side. So let's make distinctions.
All right, fair. I was going to go with Big Trouble in Little China, which another completely. I mean, there's so many problematic.
Oh, it's super problematic, but you can get behind that one. Still love it.
Nothing more problematic than Mannequin right now,
No.
which the sexual assault is rampant in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The ineptitude of everything is like this dude has been fired from like 50 jobs before he finally haphazardly gets to one. He has to literally be hit with a sign to get a job.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's getting a lot of pressure from his awful girlfriend Roxy, who, through the fullness of time, I believe Roxy has her own problems. She's had her own struggles, and maybe she's not the villainess as much as we want to think. She does a lot of things for the right reasons. She's just kind of a jerk.
She's the only one not enabling him. Everybody else.
Very true.
Okay, so everybody, literally, this is a story about a boy who made a mannequin that was taken over by an Egyptian woman.
Spirit?
Is it a spirit? Like she disappeared.
But she's a woman, but she can like vapor lock herself.
Yeah, so she becomes a mannequin, and
she's a weeping angel.
Maybe, but she didn't act like one. Well, she did fly at one point. She had wings at one point.
Yep.
So this is literally the plot. Like we're not making this up. This is what it is. Yeah. So Kim Cattrall comes out. This guy's girlfriend is the only one not enabling him. The department store he gets a job at enables him in many different ways.
It's terrible.
Or is trying to murder him. It depends on who the character is that he runs into at this department store. And then the other department store that wants him because his window dressings are amazing, want to give him like the equivalent of $150,000 a year now.
I feel like this whole movie is about a guy who just wants to be able to do acid and be artistic in whatever his role in life is. So whatever career job he lands, he just wants to be able to do shrooms and see it like reach a different world and then do whatever drugs he's doing to get really into his thing. So that's why it's so also problematic, is because everyone is enabling this young man once he finds success to continue doing the drugs.
Remember the show Heroes?
I do, with Styler.
Remember the artist who could predict the future with his artwork?
Yes.
But he was just basically a dude who shut in and just wanted to do his artwork, didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, he was killed early.
Very, very, like you blink and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what Andrew McCarthy wants to be, but he just wants to be really liked too.
Yeah, he wants to be appreciated.
It's just so bad, but he's like in love with the mannequin before he knows it's a woman.
But yeah, he's into her. Like his love of her, as she I think points out at some point, is why she was able to join in there, because she goes to the other artists and she's like, well, these other people were so involved, she couldn't get into that.
Like at one point, his girlfriend's annoyed with him because his motorcycle won't start. He lost another job. He's kind of lazy about it. He's not saying he's a loser.
Yeah, in this huge loft apartment that I don't know how he got. He's clearly got more money than he's letting on. He's like independently wealthy, but doesn't let anybody know.
I feel like in the 80s, you could just move into a loft and you'd be fine.
It's pretty much what happened. I feel like they were at least 1,000% cheaper.
It's like pay what you can.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, $40 a week, good enough.
Oh, you don't have a job? No worries. We don't credit check. But at one point he's down. He seems like he's down on his luck. His bike won't work. He's pushing it home in the rain. His girlfriend told him she doesn't want to hang out with him that night. He needs to get his shit together.
He's actively in a country song.
So what's the only thing that he really is? What's the only thing that can make this fucker happy at this moment? And that's his mannequin.
His mannequin. The one season he wants to see in this life. It's so early on.
This is a different mannequin.
Oh no.
Yeah. Look at how upset he is that the light went out. This is my favorite. Look at this. He's so giddy.
I mean, I guess if you need to find something in life, why not?
But why would he think that his motorcycle is ready to start? I mean, I know she used
Yeah,
her
he walked it
Egyptian
to that
magic,
point, and then all of a sudden he just thinks, "Get on and try it again," maybe?
and then he says this.
See you tomorrow.
Why? Why would you see her tomorrow? This the line doesn't make any sense, Casey. Why would he see her tomorrow? She's just a mannequin. Do
'Cause
you
he's
don't have a
gonna go
job
by
with
and
us? You
see
just
her
want to stop by
tomorrow.
the department store every day?
Yeah, he's gonna go by every day awkwardly and go
And then,
hang out at this department store, so might as well give him a job if he's gonna be there.
well, no, you see, that's the thing. Like, you're absolutely right. You might as well. Like, if he's just going to be there every day, but he just shows up the next morning. He doesn't go to look for a job. He's not there to look for a job.
Not at all.
He is there to see his mannequin.
Yep.
And this is what happens, and he ends up with a job.
Oh, hey, sorry, man.
The ineptitude of these signs.
Watch yourself, man.
Built-
Yeah, seriously, if that much sign is and the
I got
prowess
it.
of the sign, that's not
Oh, baby.
the whole they don't make them like they used to. I mean,
Oh my god. This is the worst way to get a job ever.
oh, and then this high voltage wire here sitting out, clearly.
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
it just
hanging.
a little shock on the ass.
Yeah, I could use a job.
What do you do?
What do you do? What do you
What
do?
do
I
you
hang
do?
from signs.
Yeah, stare at mannequins. Awkwardly, a lot of drugs. I really enjoy doing Molly and acid at the same time. It's a great effect, and mannequins come to life. It's really cool.
But Estelle Getty sits there, and her first question while he's swinging on a sign is, "What do you do?" You have a department store, and clearly you're going to make him a stock boy.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do, I guess. Whatever. But
Well, in the 80s, all the time, man. It's always start at the bottom. So either stock boy or mail room. Everybody knows that.
this
Sometimes
is some
janitor.
bullshit. This was bullshit. This whole thing was bullshit. I'm so mad. This dude, it's like his life is just working out because it's a series of crazy events and twists and turns, and then he gets exactly what he wants in life.
Yeah, of course.
Fuck
That's
the 80s.
what
and
the
their
80s movies were, man.
No, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these stupid movies with their, oh, yeah, you just fucking fall ass backwards into bullshit. And it's fucking bullshit, is what it is. It's bullshit.
I'm glad that Mannequin got you this upset.
It's because I'm so tired. Like, I'm not saying, like, I'm saying, it's funny because I'm sitting here, like, bitching and moaning, like, my life is terrible. And I'm not. That's not the case.
No.
But I've been a young, in his 20s, aloof human being who
Mhm.
worked jobs he didn't want to work, but I did it longer than him. Like,
You just didn't get shuffled through faster. That's all. Some of us got shuffled through faster to these points. Some of us just, took a lot of drugs, and apparently it worked out.
I don't understand this though, dude. Like, he's stupid beyond repair.
Yeah, he's a lot of dumb.
Because he's there for a mannequin, Casey.
But he's also the way he gets fired from every place. Like, he just doesn't understand or is willing to grasp that there are other realities in front of him.
I feel like what happened was when he got the balloon job,
Mm-hmm.
and he must have got hit on the head or something.
Mm.
And then the rest of the movie is made up in his mind. Like, it's like a St. Elsewhere situation where now he just holds a snow globe, and that's, he looks at a mannequin across the street from his hospital room in a fucking department store window, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me in this dumb movie, because clearly things don't just happen to work out. And you have the love of your life is the mannequin you made that turned into a 4,000-year-old white Egyptian woman.
That's how that works. Yep.
That's how, yeah. I mean, the magic in this is just astounding. I'm going to use that word. I'm going to go with
very
astounding.
special kind of magic. A strange magic, one might say.
It enrages me.
I know.
You know what it was? We talked about this the other day because we tried to do this the other day, and I didn't hit record.
We actually had an entire episode in the can.
We did. Well, no, not in the can.
Well, it was in the ether.
There was. It was in the air. Absolutely. And then I thought about this some more, about this movie, and I kept going, and I'm like, you know what? For a movie that I was like, this is a fun little romp. I came around and I'm like, no, this movie is a fucking nightmare. Everything.
Everything about it is nightmarish. I mean, you have a guy who You should never follow this hero's path. You should never want to emulate or try to pretend to be this guy. Like, who did this inspire? How many years of like, there was some degree of person who went, that's it, Mannequin. Like,
Yeah.
probably has to happen now. Have you seen Mannequin?
I feel like
Magic, maybe, I don't know, but this.
I feel like Lars and the Real Girl
Hmm.
and how he gets treated in that movie
Hmm.
had to be made to offset the fact that they made 2 of these Mannequin fucking movies. And they seem to work. Like, they had to make that to be like, no, guys, this is how it would really work.
Yeah.
People would think you're weird.
Yeah, fair.
But he's got a best friend in the movie. Probably my favorite character in the movie.
Oh, one of the best characters.
Hollywood. And this is the typical 80s, stereotypical 80s homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, my favorite,
Played by the wonderful Meshack Taylor.
Yes, he did a fantastic job.
Crushed
But
it.
here's the thing. So here's a scene I want to show you, Casey, that like I watched the scene quite a few times now because I'm just like, did he really mean to do this? So Andrew McCarthy's character, Jonathan, is in trouble because he made a really nice display that people really like. That's it. That's why he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And they have a review board going on whether he should be fired.
Oh,
So
with James Spader, who plays one of the bad guys. Let's
Should I show him
not
before?
overlook the James Spader bad guy.
James Spader plays such a sleazy character. Before I even play the Hollywood part, I need to show everybody what James Spader looks like.
Weird slime ball, wormy.
$5.
It's not even like this. Isn't even like stereotypical '80s slime.
No. It's more than that. It's goofy. It's cartoonish.
A switcher?
He is
What kind of work experience?
ridiculous looking.
And with
look
this
at his
little
cigarette.
cigarette.
About every job there is.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, his outfit's
Oh,
fantastic.
seriously?
I would totally be hip. I'd wear that.
I'd like to do something creative.
I mean,
Another thing, the fashion in this is fantastic.
oh my god. Well, then we need to definitely show Hollywood. Then
That's why we need to get to
Hollywood's got
Hollywood.
probably
I
the
was
best.
a big fan of what Hollywood was sending out there vibe-wise.
Well, here's the funny thing about Hollywood. In this scene I'm about to show you, he looks like Clarence
Mhm.
in the Bill and Ted movie
Okay.
when he's in the future and they're like doing the thing. Clarence
Yeah.
from East Street Band. He looks just like him, and that's in this scenario. But he's super stereotypical '80s homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
It astonishes me.
That's how it was done.
Appreciate an emotional appeal, okay?
So he comes to back his buddy up,
hoping to avoid this, but
and
this is an hour
he does
of
everything, but even
desperation.
from a normal suit is the way they play this up.
You don't think so? Oh, please don't tell anyone you saw me dressed
Absurd.
like this. I have a reputation to uphold.
I love those
My lips are
glasses.
sealed.
What is
I really
happening here?
appreciate
Now,
that.
he has a substantial
That's
number
it,
of glasses.
A demonstration. I
does
will create
a
a media
demonstration.
event. You
For a
probably know
demonstration
boys
for
and
his
girls.
friend.
The headline will read,
What
if
is he gonna
Jonathan
do?
is fired, Hollywood flies.
Anybody
Only
guess?
when I step out into
Go
the
for it.
wonderland.
He's going to jump out of the window.
Jump out of a window. He's going to kill himself.
Like literally, if
Demonstrate.
Jonathan didn't stop him here, he would have gone.
Sorry.
You think so?
Yeah, because he says, "I'm sorry, I sometimes overreact."
Fair.
It makes no sense. Like he's going to murder himself in a suicide,
Mhm.
so his friend keeps his job as the window dresser that
That's
he
a-
met yesterday. That he met
Yes,
the day before.
That's a big love, and they show that Hollywood grabs that attachment rapidly because nobody really talks to him because they make that very clear. The awkwardness and the lines drawn of you don't talk to the weirdos, which is
Yeah.
why they grow an affinity rapidly when you find out Jonathan's like all up in his mannequin.
And they're supposed to work he's supposed to work at night. Well, Jonathan too. Jonathan ends up working at night with him. So they're supposed to work at night because they're the weird ones. But then it turns out they're making these amazing window displays overnight. And Jonathan somehow I don't even know what this is. I want to talk to somebody who's run a department store or worked at one in the 80s. Is visual style window stylist an actual thing, and is that a promotion where he gets paid boatloads of money?
It's got to be, man, because I mean, getting that draw and attention. I'm sure there's like a marketing team now that takes over and doesn't quite do that, but there are probably window display people, and that's a big deal, especially in like New York City, man, because of foot traffic and what you're going to see there. You got to be drawn in.
It's this whole movie. So I don't even think we got to like we talked about James Spader as one of the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Then the security guard's a bad guy. He's a bigot.
Yes, we haven't even gotten to him.
And what's his name again?
Oh no,
Bailey, right? G.W.
yeah,
Bailey.
G.W. Bailey,
Who played the sergeant in Police Academy, who was kind of a dick.
He was the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just all around. He's just kind of a dick, and he works.
Pretty
so
much.
he's a bigot. Then you have the other department store that's more successful. That boss who gets annoyed and wants Jonathan to come work for him to get his window dressings.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that Roxy, Jonathan's girlfriend, works for. None of this makes sense.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense. And I'm still with it. It's supposed to be about a guy and his doll, essentially. But you get the security guard that he runs into, who is horrible.
Just awful.
Assignment here tonight, boy.
I'm helping Hollywood with the window.
Oh, the little Mary has an assistant now, huh?
What is happening?
Where do you people come from?
Ohio.
Ohio? You mean they got him in Ohio? So, you like your new assignment?
Could have been worse. Could have put me on with a bigoted jerk.
See, I do like at least that they turn to that.
Hold it there, boy.
I do like
yeah.
that they make it very clear that they're dickheads, and then these are cool people. Like that's cool. They're getting the message across well.
I do too, but doesn't that mean like he's a nighttime security guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a nighttime window dresser.
Yes.
So he did put you with the bigoted jerk.
I mean, I guess he did.
You have to see the bigoted jerk quite a bit.
True, but at least you don't have to answer to him.
The only person in my mind was Roxy, who we haven't even introduced yet, the girlfriend from the other department store.
From Illustra.
From Illustra. Yeah, Illustra. Oh, my God. She's the only one in my mind who's, like, making the most logical sense. I'm not saying everything she does is the most logical.
Yeah.
But overall, she's like, you're falling in love with a mannequin?
She's
like,
the
what?
clearest character arc you can see. Because I can relate to hers more. Because I can't relate to anybody else near as much. Well, maybe Estelle Getty. Like, from a position of power, I could see that. But yeah. that's a stretch. Beyond that, at least with Roxy, it's like, no, man, your man is going crazy. He's basically convinced that he's in love with this mannequin. He's convinced he's ruining and throwing his life away from your perspective. You know, I could see that from her perspective. So I get her character and some of the actions. You know, he stands her up at one point, so she's pissed. So she leans towards the weird freaking dude who's been making uncomfortable advances the whole fucking movie.
Oh my God.
Man,
before
Armand.
she even,
her coworker Armand. Oof.
Who right out of the gate is hitting on her. Right out of the gate.
She's on the phone with her boyfriend, and he's just talking shit the whole time and being uncomfortable, being like weirdly close.
Like, this is what happens to Roxy when Armand is around. It's just nightmare fuel.
I don't know about you, but I've always wanted to make love in the middle of the ladies' shoe department. The smell of fine leather.
Look at her face. She's distraught.
Mm-hmm. Can I show you something in your size?
Like that, she has to fight off dudes' advances the whole time like that. Like, it's awful, man. Look, not to say I do not love the line, can I show you something in your size? In a relationship, I will use that. And it'll be hilarious.
But that's your stereotypical Italian man in the 80s, too.
Yeah.
They just are like, he's oversexed, and that's all he wants. He's a Don Juan type. And it's like, I'm watching this movie like, this is a fucking nightmare.
I mean, that was the thing. That's what you did. A lot of our entertainment just shines really big, bright lights on the most absurd, outrageous parts of culture and, then tries to make fun of it. And sometimes they do it well, and sometimes we get Mannequin.
Oh, God, did we get Mannequin. Because now look at Mannequin. But look at this woman. Like, so this woman who is kind of like, she wants the boyfriend to come work at her department store. Mm-hmm. So maybe it will like normalize him a little bit. because he's acting crazy chasing after a mannequin. Because for all anybody knows, it's a mannequin.
Yeah, everyone just sees a mannequin. She disappears from vision of being anything else. She's a perfect human hanging out with Jonathan. And then all of a sudden, as soon as anyone gets around the corner, her position has changed and she was like, will be all up on him, like locked around him or something, or like awkwardly on a counter in the bathroom, which is still just terrible.
Which everybody either hates Jonathan
Mhm.
because they think he's weird, or they love Jonathan because they're doing like he's creating business for them.
Mhm.
It's going well, and they either support him
He's
or
a
just
nice
overlook
guy.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they overlook it and they're like, "Fine, he's in love with a mannequin, whatever," or they just want to take him out.
Yep.
And even the guy who owns a Lustra just wants him to work for him.
Yeah, he just wants him to come over there because whatever he's doing is working and he wants the money and wants the business.
And the only one, and Roxy did nothing other than say, listen, I don't want to, like, from the beginning, you're supposed to think this woman is a bitch because she just basically says, like, I don't think we should sleep together tonight. You lost another job. I really think you need to think about things.
Yeah.
She's not mean about it.
No, she's not shitty at all. She just simply says, hey, this is kind of a fucked up situation right now. You clearly need to handle your business, and rolls out.
Yeah. Like, granted, she is a little, like you said, she's a little materialistic. Like, when he pulls up on the motorcycle in front of her office, like, get together or whatever outside, she gets on, but she gets on the bike. It's not like she didn't pretend to know who he was. She gets on the bike and she's
Right.
like, can we go?
Is all awkward and like,
like he's just trying to do her thing. But I don't think she deserved the punishment she was getting.
Well, I
throughout
mean,
the whole thing.
honestly, man, with his aloofness, he wasn't paying attention to her. And you can't say he was probably being really fair if he's not being fair to himself or anything else or advancing anything. So if she wants to see someone with some more traction in his life, I completely understand that.
Fine by me too, but she still didn't. She still wanted to help him.
Yeah.
And still cared about him. And all she got was a sexual deviant as a partner.
Yep.
She gets sexually assaulted at the end of the movie after being pushed to go crazy by her boss, all the sexual assault going on around her, her boyfriend who's paying her no mind.
Yep.
And so she just finally snaps and she's like, I'm going to destroy this mannequin.
And then even tries to go have like pity sex because she was just so frustrated and angry or whatever, frustrated sex, anger sex. And dude couldn't even like be there for that for her.
Yeah.
Like, how shitty is that?
Oh my God. The whole thing is just a debacle. This whole movie, fuck this movie, dude. Fuck this movie.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It is not the fun romp that I remember. And like their action sequences are just destroying shit in a fucking department store.
Oh my God. Let me pull that scene up. Oh,
like people are just knocking everything over. This has got to be thousands of dollars of merchandise that in the 80s, thousands of dollars just being absolutely mutilated, destroyed, walked on, stepped on, ripped apart. Like it's insane.
In the capitalist in the capitalist world of like loving things and materials, this was a nightmare for most people. Reagan must have been shitting himself when he saw this movie.
But you know he did.
Because this is what happens when the security guard finds him with them laying with the mannequin. This is how he responds.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. So they've responded. So the security guard is trying to chase him around and been told to keep an eye on him because they think Jonathan's being weird. Well, come to find out that Jonathan, obviously, we watch him making out with Kim Cattrall, but then when the security guard finds him, he's rolling around with a mannequin. Yep. Now, normally you would just say, quit being a fucking weirdo and probably walk away from that or say, I'm going to report you or whatever you're going to get into.
If I can correct you on one thing about this scene so far is he wasn't even made to say, go follow him because he's being weird. This was him just following him because he thought he was weird. James Spader later makes him push because he's going to get hired by a Lustra or whatever, or however the fuck, because the whole thing is convoluted and stupid. But so then James Spader is like, I need you to find something on him so we can blackmail him.
That's right. It's just find him, just follow him.
This one was just he didn't like him.
Yep.
So Jesus Christ. If I did this to people I didn't like, this is I'm going to jail.
You'd be in prison. There's not a question here. Look at this.
He just found him.
He just found him and he just started beating him up.
I shit you not when I say he was getting up from just laying down.
Yeah, that's it.
And he's trying to get away.
Of course, that's why he runs by him.
This might be one of the best soundtracks in the movie.
Oh, well, the soundtrack is not.
Switcher, this is for my mama.
For my mama.
Why is it for your mama?
Why? Why for your mama? Did you imagine if those barbells fell on him?
Oh. And I love how powerful these tennis balls are.
I know, right?
How intimidating.
Like, what do you say at this point? And this isn't even what gets the security guard fired.
And she was able to come to the rescue because he couldn't see her.
There it is. This right here, this picture that you guys are looking at. He walked in and found him like this. Now, I'm not saying that's not he found him in an uncompromising
It's a weird spot.
But he found a weirdo at night laying with a mannequin. And his response was, I'm going to punch him in the kidney.
An employee, no less.
An employee, no less.
No idea what his involvement is.
Thank God they didn't give this guy a gun.
Yeah, seriously.
There would be hate crimes every night at this department store. Poor Hollywood would have been shot years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God, this guy's a nutbag.
And then Illustra hires him.
Oh my God! And that scene. So now, after this, he gets fired. They get him fired because he again is going after them, and they knock him out, and they find him like sprawled out on the floor, passed out during the day, and they're like, "What's going on? Why is he doing this?" And so she's Estelle Getty's character fires him and James Spader's character. So now they go to not even work. They're not even like really working for Illustra. They have to steal the mannequin. And I'm just setting up this one scene because like they have to steal the mannequin. So he doesn't even hire these two. He's like, I'll give you jobs if you get the mannequin and we can get Jonathan.
Exactly. It's two-part two.
Word, sir.
So they don't work for him yet.
Felix, there are hundreds of mannequins at Princeton Company. Do you think you'd be able to identify the one Jonathan Switcher
Look at that collar. It's insane.
Oh my God, look at that suit jacket. He looks like the mayor from Jaws.
I never forget a name or a face, Mr. Nertz.
Good.
All of these people's
Felix,
styles are so horrifying.
And if you succeed, you will have a cushy new job right here.
Look at that office.
I mean, where's your tie, bro? Or undo your top button.
Secretly.
The only one who's kind of normally dressed is James Spader.
James Spader, yeah. Although the golf pants on GW, they're amazing.
Oh, can I just say, there's nothing more 80s in this world than when you see neon lights in an office.
Oh, yes. Yep. Gotta love that Illustra look. Shining through the office window.
And look at the house, like I guess not housekeeper, but like the cleaning lady they have here.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening?
Custodial services. That's just a hair, protect your hair.
That's the stereotypical cleaning lady from every movie.
Of course it is. Well, I mean, that's most of what their outfits were.
And the artwork was announcement too. That bland artwork that everybody had on their wall. That was kind of like pastels. Just everything about this movie is just.
And I love that dude's desk, the executive there, BJ, has like nothing on it. Like he's not doing any fucking work.
So again, they're not hired by Illustra yet. And their grand scheme is we're going to steal the mannequin. So how are they going to do it? Let's see. Oh, that's right. They're going to mow people down in their car to try and get to him in this grand car chase.
After specifically saying, let's watch them.
That little prevert.
It's got to be secret, right? Yeah.
Let's not do anything rash. We'll follow them quietly and look for just the right moment to grab them.
Don't worry, Mr. Richards. I'm an expert at surveillance.
Hang on!
This is ridiculous.
That way.
I love when the mannequin gives finger to him.
When they cut in between Mannequin, yeah, right there. Give him the finger.
Wait, go back. We need to go back real quick. I don't even think that's the right hand on the right arm. That's a pinky. Is that how that works?
No, that's the middle finger. But is
That's
that
the middle finger. But look on the end.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's the left hand on the right arm. Wow.
They didn't even get it right in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have to, yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
I knew something looked weird here.
I did too. I was wondering what it was. It's the wrong arm.
I have no idea what to think about this whole fucking debacle, but like,
I mean, that pretty much tells you what this movie is.
he's mad. Look at him. He's mad. So what is his response? Being quiet and murder somebody.
Murder. He's thinking murder. He immediately goes to murder. That then starts some sort of bullet-like car chase through New York City. As he's just trying to, like, just knocking out people. Just really, he's got to have killed at least 3 pedestrians.
And at what point does James Spader say, you know what? You are not the right man for the job.
Never.
I'm going to hire somebody else, because they still work together. And I think my favorite part of this is when they go through and he can't remember which mannequin it is. So they steal every female mannequin in the store.
They just take them all. And then they say they've taken every female mannequin, and they immediately go to a shot from outside, and you see 2 female mannequins in the window. And I'm like, well, you've lied to me now.
Not everyone then, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it becomes this whole huge like thing. Like, you have to save this mannequin's life. I guess life.
Sure.
And it just becomes this whole race to get there, which comes to my favorite scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a true Hollywood fashion scene.
Oh yes, Hollywood is the best friend comes to the rescue, and probably one of the coolest vehicles ever shown on screen.
Absolutely. Look at this. Yes, Hollywood. Yes. So he runs out and goes into the store.
Oh, and I'm wrong, by the way. It's not New York City. That is Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That's right. Philly. Brotherly love.
Look at this. He made sure to put his park cover on. I don't even think that's an actual parking spot.
Which, although, you know what? Now that I realize that it's Philadelphia, I think it makes more sense that they're all kind of assholes. That Jonathan is so apathetic, just like, fuck it, whatever. That feels like a Philly attitude.
Is it Philadelphia, though? Because it said Pennsylvania. I wasn't sure if it was Philadelphia or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh it could be. But I feel like if it was Pittsburgh, he almost immediately would have gone to a steel mill as an option for work.
You know, you can't say that about Jonathan, because Jonathan went to all the crazy fucking places for work.
He may have already tried that earlier. He may have tried that out of high school.
Yeah, that's fair. So he was basically Flashdance.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible. The awful version of Flashdance.
Those two work together. That's why it's too pretty. That's why I don't think this is Philadelphia. Philadelphia has never been pretty.
I don't know. There are parts.
No, here's the thing. Are there things that are endearing about Philadelphia? Yes. Are there landmarks that really stand out? And there's a gritty beauty to it.
The history of it is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. It's wonderful.
But it's not pretty.
No.
It's pretty in the way that Bruce Springsteen is pretty.
The corpse flower is pretty.
I don't know what that is.
It's a flower that blooms once very rarely and smells like a dead person.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Of course it doesn't, fucking Philly. Of course
but it looks
does.
Beautiful.
That's
Philly.
Because you know what it is? It doesn't smell like a corpse. It's just that's when everybody throws out the bodies.
That's fair. Where they just do that day.
It blooms, and that's when the garbage.
It bloom. Chuck them.
I mean, it's Philadelphia. Like, it's monstrous. It's terrible.
There's a lot of things to it. They say, look, it's a lot of things to a lot of people.
Listen, Philadelphia, their number one sports icon is a fictional character. They're the biggest attraction that they have is Broken.
They have a fanatic as one of their.
They have the Philly Fanatic, but that's not even the best or the worst.
Oh, the Flyers one, Munchie or whatever he is.
Gritty. His name is Gritty. because that's what they are, and
They're
they're
gritty.
proud of it. He looks like a meth head. He looks like a ginger meth head.
Well, he's representing a certain part of Philly.
Obviously.
A lot of people there.
Geno's, that's what it's representing. The whole thing is just like, like the founding fathers and National Treasure had to hide something in Philadelphia because they knew that most people would not think to look in Philadelphia for anything.
No, because people always forget about the Liberty Bell and the First Continental Congress. So it's a really rad place. More importantly, for the bar and backs where you can drink, like, you know, with the George Washington's porter ale and stuff like that. They brew all of those same original recipes from the founding fathers.
Is that where Tun's Tavern is too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course the Marines were born in Philadelphia. Of course they were. In fact, I wouldn't want it any other way. I would not want it any other way.
Are you kidding? Our protecting force, I absolutely want from Philly.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, see, Philly's good for a lot of things.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. Philly's a lot of things to a lot of people.
They're horrific.
In their own way.
But no, like in the normal realm.
Oh, by like standard humans?
Like standard humans, like it's horrific. But like Philly's one of those places where it's just like, you could be the toughest guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You could be known for being tough. And if you're obnoxious, I hope you walk through Philly one day.
Yeah.
Because you'll get checked. You're going to get checked.
People learn a lot of lessons in Philly. You really learn a lot about yourself, who you'll open up to as a human being.
Like I have no doubt that if anybody watches this from Philly, they're going to say, fuck these guys for picking on Philly. But by the time I got to the part where I said, if you're the toughest guy in the world, you're going to get checked in Philly, everything was all right.
And you immediately got respect again.
Like the whole conversation was like, all right, this guy, it's good. We're good. Because that's it. That's what they want. Yep. And I have to give it to them because, again, the whole city is a nightmare.
Bro, proof is in the pudding. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have walked through Boston, Philly, New York, Chicago, which I've never really walked through Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You can't hit the major cities and walk through all of them without at some point going, yo, Philly's some bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, because above all else, I've been in those cities, and I know you have too. And yeah, there's some tense moments in certain parts of those cities where you're like, shit, I cannot turn the wrong corner here, or I'm going to get messed up. But you can maneuver your way out. If you're street smart enough, you can maneuver your way out. Absolutely. Philadelphia, I truly believe it does not. You know what the best representative of Philadelphia is? You ever see the movie Judgment Night?
It's Always Sunny feels pretty spot on.
Yeah, it really does. But you ever see the movie Judgment Night with Dennis Leary and like?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, where they have to go on the run because they saw a dead body. I always just imagine that's what Philly is every night.
What is it? 28 blocks? The one where the guy has to escort
16 blocks. 16 blocks.
Yeah, 16 blocks. That's what I think of when I think of Philly. I'm like, that's what it is, man.
I don't know, because that was like cops trying to kill Mos Def, and that was like real on a basis that I'm not willing to even.
Whoa! I didn't even realize the meta right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like Judgment Night was straight up like, oh, you saw us with the body? First of all, they're not even going to try and kill you because you saw them murder somebody. They don't care.
No.
Nobody's going to stop them. Like, you can tell you tell anybody you're from Philly, and I love that we're roasting Mannequin, and it's just become about Philadelphia now.
Which we don't even know if this takes place in Philadelphia.
We don't even know.
Don't even know. Why have we not looked that up?
We've officially gotten to a point where we just assumed. Well, here's the thing. I don't believe it takes place in Philadelphia because nobody in this movie, it takes place in Philadelphia.
Bam.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. No. All right. You're right. I agree with you. That's what it says. I don't believe it on the basis that everybody in it is too nice to be from Philadelphia.
Well, no, it makes sense because Jonathan wouldn't give a shit. Roxy fits 100%.
Roxy has to fit because the nightmare that she goes through is the personification of Philadelphia.
Valid. Totally valid.
Poor Roxy.
Armando or Armand, 1000%.
No, he would have been murdered years ago just for his accent in Philadelphia.
Nah, man, he would have hung out with Edward at someplace. I'm sure he would have found his niche.
You mean the guys and women of Philadelphia who threw batteries at Santa Claus?
Yeah, fair. They probably would have knifed him pretty early on.
Wouldn't have murdered this poor sexual deviant
BJ
from Italy.
BJ is definitely underhanded enough that he would get by.
All right, maybe.
And Estelle Getty's a tough broad. Man,
Like
that's with Estelle Getty. She's Philly's all get out, bro.
Nah.
That woman's stand her ground, Philly.
I'm sorry. The only person that really makes sense for being from Philly in this movie is G.W. Bailey. It's a security guard. He's the only one in this movie that I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
No, I mean, yeah. The entire flood of security guards at the end who are just guys just trying to beat the shit out of this kid who's running away for they don't know why. Notice how none of the other guys know why. They just call him a weirdo.
Yeah.
That's the breakdown. The whole thing is we got to beat the crap out of this dude because he's a weirdo.
This dude got a badge and was like, I am going to murder everyone. But anyway, going back to Roxy real quick. So Roxy gets to a point, so they kidnap the mannequin. Now she's so fed up because even like she's working for this illustrious guy and she's like, you just want to hire him and he's breaking my heart, but at the same time going crazy over this mannequin and you guys are all going crazy enabling him. So she snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly think justifiably so.
Yeah, agreed. She loses it because she cares about the guy. And she's tired of this shit. She's like, I'm just going to get rid of this because you're just losing your mind. Who wouldn't believe that? There's been no proof. Oh, here's G.W. Bailey after like falling through that, trying to run through a case, is wiping out merchandise left and right as they are just chasing Jonathan through this store.
Can I tell you right now?
Yes.
This is why I don't think it was Philly that this takes place in.
Why?
Is because these security guards would not be inept in catching him. I feel like everybody in Philadelphia just knows how to catch people.
They have some sort of inept capability to tackle. That's why the Eagles are so huge. They don't give a crap about offense. They just want to see awesome tackles.
They would have launched projectiles on him by now.
Oh, well, that's fair. Someone would have had a bolo or something weird.
Oh, my God. So them not being able to capture him says this is not Philly. So I don't know. I keep looking at it and I'm like,
no, because most of the people who can catch people are like in sports teams. These are the guys who didn't make it past high school.
I still feel like in Philly, if they're going to throw a beating, they're going to catch you. Like, that's going to happen. So he's racing to go save her.
Now she's finally being taken.
Yeah. So poor Roxy just wants to throw this mannequin and be done with it. So she goes to throw it in the shredder.
In this giant shredder. This
conveyor belt
giant dumpster shredder combo in the 7th floor basement of a it's ridiculous, man. This department store is giant.
It is. Yeah. Oh,
this is bigger than most malls I used to go to or have ever been to.
So let me ask you this. All right. Again, we're at a point where nobody has seen that Emmy, the mannequin, is actually real.
Or Egyptian.
No, I don't care. Once they do see she's real, you can't tell she's Egyptian. Whitewash the movie.
But she's got an accent at one point, like half of one.
Maybe the director's from Philly, and that's why there's so many problems in this. This is just everyday living.
Everyday living in Philly. Yeah, whatever. We say shit. Get over it.
I feel like Philadelphia, the people from Philadelphia were offered central air in everybody's house to be put in for free, and they were still like, nah, fuck that. We want window units. That's how stubborn Philadelphia is on every front.
That sounds about right. And I mean, honestly, if you watch this, man, Roxy, the more I'm thinking about this, now knowing the Philly tie-in, Roxy is almost just like Dee from Always Sunny.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah.
But before we get to what happens to Roxy, we get to Jonathan has to save Emmy from the shredder, right?
Yeah.
Now, Case, how much would you say a mannequin weighs?
Well, looking at the dimensions and considering whatever was used in this, it really matters and comes down to construction. And, some people use a fair amount of wood or some sort of composite. Could wind up being rather hefty. It's upwards of probably about 100 pounds. One might be able to conjecture,
I
but probably no more than I would say on average. I got to think like 50, 60 pounds, right?
Well, here's why I don't think that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, and now, mind you, I'm going to go back to an earlier scene just to kind of solidify my point, if I can, and that is how much she may weigh.
Okay. What are we looking at
And
potential wise?
well, here's the thing. So let's go back to the fight scene real quick. Okay. Now, I'm going to stop it. We don't need to watch the fight scene. She's laying on him,
Yes.
and he's not struggling.
No.
So I would say at most 40 pounds.
Okay. See, and here's the thing. She changes mass throughout this movie. If you notice, he carries her 3 different ways, different times. Sometimes she is exceptionally light, and he's able to move rapidly with her and dance with her as if no big problem. Other times, it seems as though he's kind of struggling around a bit under the arm, but maybe because it's just large and uncomfortable and a bit unwieldy. And then you get to the point where she seems to have the density of the fucking sun.
I would say, well, no, there's one scene where she has the density of the sun. Because I would say even when she's an actual person, she's probably 100 pounds.
Best bet.
She's little.
Very tiny.
So it's even funnier to me when we finally get to the shredder scene, and it makes no sense because she is a mannequin, because the janitor is watching. The janitor, mind you, who knows how to shut the machine off.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Our friendly janitor here, who, as this is going on, he just gets out of the bathroom, and you see him staring down there. You can see his face. He operates this fucking machine, and he's just watching someone approach the giant maw and spinning blades of death.
And this 40-pound mannequin, he's struggling.
Which now suddenly weighs so much more.
So much more.
So much more.
Because she turned real.
Yeah, so the amount of density now has, she's quadrupled in size.
I don't want to argue the physics of a movie called Mannequin.
Buddy, if you're going to commit to us for this, you better come correct and not have led. Oh, he remembered his fucking job. Congratulations, big guy.
It's like he remembered his job. First of all, this Philadelphia nightmare of a janitor that we'll get to in a minute.
Super Philly.
Remembered his job when he saw, oh my God, that woman's real. It's not a mannequin. Why wouldn't you turn the shredder off when there was a man up there?
That's the whole thing. Who cares if, oh, well, it's going to get the mannequin, no big deal. But no, if you see a human being that close to the giant shreddy kill thing, you got to shut her down. That's the whole point of having an emergency shut-off button.
That's why the 80s were just a nightmare.
Terrifying. OSHA, the OSHA problems. You want to talk about other workplace violations. OSHA issues out the butt.
Maybe we should get out of roasting movies and just go into OSHA violations in movies. Because there's so many we can go through.
How completely unsafe this whole work environment is.
So everything gets tied up in a nice little bow for almost everybody.
Almost everybody.
And basically the ending of this movie comes down to, and we'll kind of cover this before we get into the nightmare that happens. Everybody shows up at that back room where the shredder is. They somehow have proof of, everybody committing incredulous crimes.
Because there's a videotape. There's always a videotape at the end. It's straight Scooby-Doo ending, man. Estelle Getty comes in and rips everybody's mask off.
Yeah. And then and now Emmy is real.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, they kidnapped me. And literally everybody's like, what are you talking about? Who are you?
Yeah.
Because they know, because there was no kidnapping. Because in reality, you were a mannequin when they took you. Now there's maybe theft. And how much could a mannequin cost? Is it grand larceny? I doubt it.
Well, when you take all of them, and apparently
true.
they're super heavy. They changed
true.
density. Density changing mannequins were a big thing in the 80s.
No.
And they cost
One
a
was.
lot of money.
One was. Maybe two. I forget who was the star of the second movie.
I wonder how messed up would it be if there was some other mannequin with like the spirit of some other like maybe Greek girl who had prayed to the gods and got turned into a mannequin and she got shredded in one of those machines. How fucked up is that now?
Well, I can tell you how fucked up it is because the janitor seems to think that it could happen.
The janitor is convinced that that's in fact what is happening.
Yeah, and he ain't taking no for an answer.
Nope.
Poor Roxy.
Aw.
They went out in the end. She's human now.
She's
straight up
human
human
forever. And now he, humidly, ha ha. So the dumpster dumped out on poor Roxy.
I want my mannequin.
And here's
And we don't
everybody
even
who
know
got
Roxy.
defended. Yeah, so those geniuses were able to be held back by one freaking guy with a water hose. Stupid
Hollywood
in a whole hallway.
spraying him. He finds Roxy. Now, pause this real quick. I found a woman.
Yep.
A real live woman who's
Indeed.
unconscious.
Yep.
So you would think in any other way in America where that, isn't Brock Turner, might have turned around and been like, let's help this woman who's in a dumpster and real. Even if you think was a mannequin at some point in life.
Yeah.
Oh, she's unconscious. Let me help her.
Let me see if she's all right. Let me see if she's breathing. Let me just make sure check she isn't cut or anything or any like terrible laceration. Yeah, just verify the lady's all right.
Nope, let's get gritty with it. It's
getting gritty with it.
It's a miracle! A miracle!
Oh my God. Clearly no interest.
Right there, stop. That's all you needed to hear. Stop it. That was enough.
That's enough.
And now he's still assaulting her. They are
Still
strolling
saying
down the fucking ramp as he is just getting real weird.
Roxy?
Poor Roxy has
Poor
been
Roxy.
sexually assaulted throughout this entire thing.
Yep.
And what does she get for it? She loses her job.
She loses her job. Yeah.
Why? What did she do to lose her job over everyone else?
It's a really good question. You've got a lot of good questions.
Literally everybody else should not be working.
Because they painted her to be the bad person because she was the one who was, well, I mean, admittedly, she did try to kill her.
But she didn't.
Hold on.
She tried to shred a mannequin that she thought her. No,
I understand the motivation. I am not saying that her motivation wasn't in the right place. If that was only a mannequin, and if it did not have a soul inhabiting it, who happened to be the love of this man's life, bro, I would completely be with you and on board. But because we know that it's real, it's painted in a certain way that Roxy is the villain.
I get that. Because it's painted in the Philadelphia way. I want to know where this director is from. Because she even is like taken aback when she finds out that she's a real woman. Like when she finally sees her there, she's shocked. And then when she gets fired from her job because she's still trying to put two and two together, how this is a real person now, she's just horrified.
Yep.
So the real victim here is Roxy.
I agree with that. I think Roxy gets screwed over the most.
Oh, actually, no. You know who the real victim is? Us, the viewers, are the real victim of this debacle.
Having to invest this many hours of our lives, even just minutes, the sheer minutes to have to watch something that's just absolute drivel makes me remember exactly how bad it was so long ago, how much further we've come, and how much further we have to go. Thanks a lot for that terrible placeholder, Mannequin.
Yeah. But thank you, Stacy, for asking us to watch Mannequin, our Patreon member. We appreciate you, appreciate your support. We appreciate you putting this movie in because as much of a mess as it is, I'm glad we got to rewatch it and pick it apart, especially with the, being able to kind of throw one at Philadelphia.
That came out of nowhere, but I was super happy it worked out so well.
We really did. So, guys, this is Plot Roast. This is our weekly show where we're going to pick apart a movie, have a lot of fun with it, and hopefully you guys are too. The next movie up comes from our patron, Tim. thank you, Tim, for putting in Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
A movie we both like.
Yeah. Oh, look, Stacy, I like Mannequin. I think it's a terrible movie, and watching it now, I see it way more problematic than it was, but it's still got the perfect amount of cheese. So I love it. So Halloween Kills, I'm not super excited about having to destroy, but I kind of am.
It's going to be easy to do too. It really is. But yeah, so make sure you join us next week for that. Hopefully you enjoyed Mannequin. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button here on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you. And check out our podcast, the Scene Snobs Podcast, which is live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on the Scene Snobs YouTube channel. Or you can listen to it on all podcast platforms right after the show. Casey and I have a lot of fun doing it. He's great at it. I'm even better. No, I'm just kidding. I'm nowhere near, but we have such a great time. Two best friends talking about the things they love. Now, with that being said, I'm going to let Casey take it away. Go ahead, man.
Thank you, my friend. A pleasure as always. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thanks to all of our Patreon members who get this first big exclusive look. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourselves. And have a good night.
I can't say it better myself, so I'm not gonna. Just join the Discord. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original and fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.